Welcome back to my class. We are dealing with the equipment used for cell culture or microbial culture. As we all know, for microbial cell culture, we need a culture vessel. If it is laboratory level, that means small scale. We can use any bottle like conical flask. This is also known as Erlenmeyer flask, or you can use any other bottle. And sometimes we use baffle flask. Baffle flask means a conical flask which is having some ridges inside, conical projections inside. These conical projections are known as baffles. They help actually in the mixing. They improve mixing. When mixing is improved, we can say aeration also get increased. These are culture vessels are normally used in small scale. And for proper mixing and aeration, the culture bottles need to be mixed thoroughly. So in the laboratory we use certain shakers. We can keep our conical flask here in this shakers, and by switching on it the entire plate will start rotate. That will improve the mixing of our culture. The culture mixing will also improve aeration. This is normally what we use in our laboratory. Some cultures require special temperature as well as mixing. For that we can use the shaker with a incubator. This is shaker incubator. There is a mechanism of shaking or mixing which is fitted inside the incubator. We can also set temperature, as well as we can also check the RPM, rotation per minute, for mixing. This is an incubator with a shaker, and the previous one was only shaker. They are the common instruments used in the laboratory for culturing microbes. In large scale, we use certain structures known as fermenter. Fermenter is also known as bioreactor. They are vessels which are used for large scale growth of microorganism under a controlled environment. Basic design of a fermenter is shown here. Let us see what are the basic parts of a fermenter. Keep in your mind, fermenter is normally used for large scale production. Let us see some of the basic parts of a fermenter. You can see a vessel, a steel tank like structure, and to that you can see a rotator is fixed, a stirrer is fixed. This stirrer is connected to a motor, and that motor rotates the stirrer. This improves the mixing. This is a stainless steel tank which is associated with many control units. You can see a gas outlet, you can see an inlet, you can see an outlet, and also you see a heating water and a cooling water jacket. This actually helps to maintain temperature. The entire systems are connected to a computer, and you can see two probes. These are probes to check pH, the probes to check temperature. These computers monitor the working of fermenter in each and every second, and their outputs are displayed on the screen. If the fermenter is having a shortage of temperature. Suppose our microbe is required 37 degrees Celsius and the temperature inside the fermenter goes below that, then hot water will be supplied through these pipes. If temperature goes higher, then cool water will be supplied. So fermenter is a large vessel which is equipped with all associated instruments that maintain the controlled environment inside fermenter. Just I need to add here, there is a structure inside this fermenter known as sparger. Actually this releases oxygen or air to the fermentation mixture. This sparger actually bubbles out filtered air and that improves aeration. These stirrers improve mixing. Probes monitor their internal environment and they have also inlet for addition of nutrients and any other acid, base or any chemicals to the fermenter. This is a basic design of stirred tank fermenter. Based on the requirement, the outlook, appearance and internal structures of fermenter is different. Some other fermenters like airlift fermenter, bubbled tank fermenters and many other types of fermenters are available. This is the structure of a fermenter which is normally found in an industry. Now in the laboratory of such industries, we can see a small fermenter which is of 10 to 100 liters where actually the research works are carried out. I'll show you such a fermenter. Laboratory level fermenter. These are actually used for research purpose. Actually used for optimizing various parameters for the growth of microbes. That means if I grow a special microbe, suppose I have to grow a microbe and I should know what are the parameters, conditions required for that microbe. So initially before setting up a large scale fermenter, the scientists will carry out fermentation here in this laboratory. And all the values such as temperature, pH and the substrate, how much amount of substrate is required and what is the maximum concentration of cell that can grow inside the fermenter. All these experiments will be done in the seed fermenter. It may be 10 to 100 liters of varying size and all the value we got through the laboratory based fermenter extrapolated for the large scale. Okay, so they produce the products only for research purpose. Next is type of cultures. First culture is batch culture. Batch culture is a closed culture system that contain a limited amount of nutrients. For example, if I take a conical flask, this of 1 liter, to which I add 500 ml of medium and I inoculated microbe, then I closed this container. Now this particular culture will be allowed to grow in the conditions such as incubator, inside the incubator shaker, and a batch of product will be formed after a particular time. Once the culture is completely grown, we will take out all the medium and we will go for downstream processing. So it means we'll take out product from that. Now one batch is over. Now this vessel will be emptied and sterilized. Again a new batch of culture will be introduced to this. Such culturing is known as batch culture. This can be done even in laboratory level as well as in the large scale fermenters. Okay, to the big fermenter we introduce a particular amount of volume of limited amount of nutrients, and that limited amount of nutrients will be utilized by the cells growing there. Once the entire process is over, that means the growth curve of microbes, lag phase, log phase, stationary, decline. Stationary phase will take out the culture and will go for downstream processing. The culture vessel or fermenter or bioreactor is emptied, and to which a new batch of culture will be introduced later on. Such cultures are known as batch culture. Next type is fed batch culture. Fed batch culture is a batch culture which is continuously or sequentially fed with fresh medium without removing the culture. Again, let us take this time fermenter, to which we add an initial amount of cells and medium. After every day, suppose the culture is running for 7 days. After every 1 day, we will be adding some amount of substrate to this. So what happens? Day by day the volume get increased. We are not removing any volume of growth medium in between the process. So this is a batch culture which is fed either sequentially or sometimes continuously without removing growth medium. We are not removing the growth medium. So one of the limitations of this fed batch culture is after a certain volume we cannot add further nutrients to that. Then we have to stop that. Again the entire vessel is emptied. We will fill again another batch. This type of culture is known as batch culture. And the third type is continuous. In continuous culture, we continuously add medium and we continuously remove product. Here the fresh substrate and medium is added, and once the growth is over, product is simultaneously removed. So we will get a constant amount of medium inside the fermenter that is maintained. Such cultures are known as continuous culture. Two types of continuous culture. One is chemostat, where we keep the chemical environment inside the fermenter constant, and the another one is turbidostat. Here we maintain cell concentration. In chemostat we maintain chemical environment, and in turbidostat we maintain cell concentration. So these are three types of cell culture. The growth of microbes in the cell culture is having different stages such as lag, log, stationary, and next is decline. We know culture growth is normally happens in lag, log phases. When it reaches stationary phase, the growth is zero. In the culture, growing cells are exposed to continuously changing environment due to gradual consumption of nutrients and accumulation of metabolites. The growth is zero in stationary phase because number of cells which are formed and number of cells which are actually dying almost equal, then there is no further increase in the net number of cells. So we say generally the growth of culture is 0. Let us see some of the characteristics features of batch, fed batch and continuous cultures. The first one is X. This is concentration of cells. Next is QS, and the third one is S. S is substrate concentration. QS is cell specific substrate turnover rate. These three characteristics are studied in the three different cultures. You can see in the batch culture, cells initially they are less in amount, slowly they increase. Initially the substrate is very high, and slowly when they are used up, their substrate concentration get reduced. QS also cell specific substrate turnover rate, also initially very high and they get reduced, decline. When you come to fed batch culture, we are adding substrate continuously or sequentially so that the substrate concentration remain constant. Concentration of cells, they are initially in very low concentration, then they gradually increase. QS also in a steady manner. But in continuous culture, you can see all the three, that is substrate concentration remain constant, cell specific turnover rate again that is a constant, and substrate concentration is also constant.